Hello and welcome to the vlog. It's only a short one this week. I've got two pieces of information and a rough guide on how to treat allotment apple trees. On this path here I have had real problems with couch grass creeping in up the paths and up through the beds. Yes, paving can go down on the edge. It's not really a good replacement. So I've got two tips for you today, and they concern how to put up a barrier. And the first tip comes from Edible Acres in America, and they use comfrey as a physical barrier on your plot border to stop the ingress of stuff like couch grass. Couch grass has thick roots that travel along roughly the surface and then bury down when they want to stay. So by having something like comfrey, it's a dense mass of vegetation that will stop. This is only 1 year old, 1 year's growth of comfrey. So this, both the root mass that is beneath here and the leaf mass above ground, will effectively stop any weeds from getting in that way. So even though I have actually planted this comfrey a little bit too close to the path, I wish I had put it back a little bit, stepped it back at least a foot, but they're always done now. Let's see how it goes. It's doing its job so far. There's been no ingress of couch grass, but I was having a bit of ingress of couch grass on my chipped paths. So my second tip is from Richard Perkins, and around his plot, around the border of his plot, to stop any ingress of weeds, he uses a trench. So he digs a trench like this. This is what I've done here, and then fills it with wood chip. Now then, the idea being that it won't stop the couch grass, but the couch grass will find it really easy to root down into. They'll root down and you can pick them back out really easy. It makes the weeding of couch grass massively easy. So, sounds like a good idea. It all sounds perfect to me. Just for a bit of a visual, didn't realise this was here. This is couch grass. You see how it has invaded the plot. That's how it travels around. That's how it creeps through the undergrowth and comes up in your crops. Well, this should produce a really easy way to get rid of that. I guess that weed that come out of there proves the point really, how it's ingressing through the paths going that way, and how easy it was to pull out of the wood chip path. I mean, that wood chip path is what, 2 inches deep there, and it was easy to get out. Give it another couple of weeks and those roots would have been down into the soil and been a real problem to get rid of. And whilst I'm here, I just want to show you the profile of the path. This was weeds I dug out of the path right on the plot edge. But you see how here the natural soil colour is very pale, undernourished. But as we move into the area that has had successive wood chip on top of it, look how dark and full of matter it is. It really is transforming into good soil. I mean, it's only a path, but it just shows you what adding organic matter does do to the soil profile. And there it is, finished. Unfortunately, I've only got enough wood chip to do this one border. I'll have to wait until the autumn till we get more delivery of wood chip, because fresh wood chip should be used in this sort of thing. This is really quite well broken down, not really good. It's too good for this use, but hey ho, it works for the demonstration and it'll work for showing you exactly what I mean for this. In the autumn I shall be digging right along all the paths making a borderline between my lovely plot and the paths that are beside me. Just out of interest, I'll show you something else. Now this is at the other end of my allotment, or the side of my allotment, the top side, and my neighbour here is an expert weed grower, plenty of bindweed. Bless his soul, he's 80 years old. He's a thoroughly nice bloke, but he does have a bindweed problem, and it creeps on my path. It's already got through my apple trees once and gone through the other side, making a real problem, and it's been a problem to get out. But in his cage he's got quite a bit of bindweed growing. Bless his soul, he's a little bit elderly now. I've offered to help him next year to keep him going, because he was thinking about giving up. I don't know if he's going to take me up on that, but I'll do the hard physical work, and he can just come down and gather the crops. But we'll see if he says yes or no. Anyway, what I took you up here for was this bindweed is becoming a problem. Okay, like this one here, it's coming across to my path, which is basically there. So I've been pruning the apple trees. Well, you've seen that in the photograph in a minute. But so I reckon if I trench down through here and do more or less the same in the autumn, hopefully we can get some fresh wood chips. I'm going to try and make a nice wide path here in the same manner I've just shown you. Let's see if it works against the bindweed. Now that whilst I'm here, I'm just going to give you a quick note on brown rot. I've got brown rot in my apples. The worst thing you can do is leave these on the ground, because brown rot is a fungus that self-replicates through dropping apples, infecting them, and then that goes on to spread more spores to the good apples, perpetuating the cycle, and a good proportion of your apples can be lost through brown rot. You need to get them off, which I will do, and get them in the bin. They mustn't be composted, because brown rot will survive any composting procedure, and if you then mulch with that compost, you will be adding brown rot to any areas that mulch, and if it happens to be an apple tree area, that's not good. Right, so now it's summer pruning of apple trees. This is a pyramid trained apple tree. The pruning is best done in July. I'm late this year because of health problems. I won't go into that again. So what I'm looking to do is prune off these upward facing shoots using a long handled pruner. I've already clipped the side, as you can see by the cut marks here in the center. This one here, look, I've pruned it back hard. In normal summers where sunlight is a premium, it's a really good idea because it allows the sun onto the actual apples as well as controlling the shape of the tree. Here it is finished. Hopefully you can see the difference. You can see the apples now, they would get maximum sun. They don't need it this year, we've had more enough sun. And this is the long handled pruner that I use to do the job. Absolutely brilliant. Now then, this is another plot close by me, and I just wanted to show you what happens if you don't restrain the growth on a pyramid tree and let it grow. So this growth that you're seeing here is basically 2 years growth. Hasn't been trimmed properly, and it's done wonders. It's grown lovely, but the weight of this crop has weighed down the branch. In fact, all the branches on this tree are weighed down, whereas a bit of summer pruning would have stopped this happening. I hope that makes sense. As you see, that all the branches are bowed over. So if this one had been allowed to grow up and then cut back to about here, the new growth would have come from that, and it would have been such a stronger structure. as it happens, this hasn't happened, and it's okay. But let's just go round to the side. What you actually then have a risk of happening is what's happened here, where the branch just can't support the weight and it's just snapped off. So we're looking to build up a strong structure, like I showed you in my first video, to prevent exactly this happening. So going back to my own trees again, as a reference point, you can see how stocky this tree is, and you see this branch that I'm holding here, there's no bowing, it's nice and strong. This is a direct result of last year's summer pruning, really. Summer pruning helps fruit set for the following year, helps encourage fruits rather than growth. It doesn't quite work, it's as simple as that, but you see how strong the shape of the tree is. Well, thank you very much for joining me once again. I hope you found some of this video useful. If you've got any questions, please don't hesitate to ask me in the